get back my comments. So if you guys are tuning in and watching, go ahead and tell me where you're watching from. If you are a veteran homeschooler or just stepping into this, anything, drop us some likes. So I have my guest today is Roxanne, and your last name, how do I say it? Ballard?
Ballard, yes, ma'am.
Yes, Ballard. So I'm just going to let her introduce herself a little bit, and then she's going to go ahead and step into what curriculum she uses and show us how it all works for her and her family. And so go ahead, Roxanne. And
okay, thank you, Rachel. I'm Roxanne Ballard, and I have a 7-year-old daughter and a 5-year-old son. She's actually turning 7 on Friday, so it's been really exciting in our house this week. But anyway, my husband really pushed for the homeschooling, and I went to public school, and I didn't love public school, but I was bored in public school. If you're not doing what they want you to do, then you're doing it wrong and you get reprimanded. If you're done, you get reprimanded. It wasn't a good experience. So I was like, okay, yeah, we can homeschool. Let's try that. And my husband was also very bored in school, and we're hands-on learners, and we really wanted to give our children a love of education. So we both decided, we want to know what's going on, and we want to know that they're excited about learning. So
was your husband, he was public schooled also?
He was, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, thank you.
That's okay.
So we have been homeschooling, since birth, since my daughter was born 7 years ago. You start out and they learn the words and they learn the colors and the shapes and the letters. And so we just kept on moving forward. I have a friend of mine in our church that homeschools as well, and she had good things to say about it, and she also said it wasn't for everybody. So I was like, well, I don't want to spend a fortune and then decide this is not good. So I went looking like everybody does at all the different curriculums, and we found Easy Peasy Homeschool, which is also called All-in-One Homeschool, if you guys just heads up clarification there. So yeah, we started with Easy Peasy Homeschool because it was free, basically, essentially. And,
right.
In preschool and kindergarten, they're I don't really know, but I feel like they're all the same. The programs are all similar. So,
right.
Why not go for the free road?
Right. And it's not necessarily, it's easy for the sense of the use. Correct.
Right. It's Easy Peasy Homeschool because it truly is. It's easy for me. And do you guys want to go ahead and do you want me to pull that up and let
if you're done introducing, or if you got more
Nope, that's pretty much it. Any more information needed?
I don't think so. Why you chose that curriculum, you've already kind of covered that, and then you're going to show us how it looks inside, mm-hmm. and then kind of share the resources that you have also with that, like if your kid's struggling or you quite don't understand what they're saying to do for their assignments. But yeah, go ahead and you can share with us.
Okay. Let me share my screen, and I've actually never run across an issue as far as understanding the assignments and what they're saying. So okay. I don't have a good input there. Okay. But they have hugely changed their program in the last 8 months.
Okay.
So this is all a new platform,
okay.
Which I prefer. So instead of, so you get in, you log in, you put in your kids' names, which I love. So you can have a program for your daughter and a program for your son. And if you have 3, 4, 5 kids, it doesn't matter. They'll let you put in as many children as you want. They do ask for a donation because it is all free. So they say, if you're willing, we suggest $15 for the year. So, it's up to the giver, it's up to the parent. And there's no limit on how many children you have, but they ask you that if you do decide to use a different curriculum, if you're not going to use this curriculum, that you would delete your stuff. So you're not taking up room on their server.
Got it.
So I'm all set up already. I've got Vanessa, I've got Jesse, and basically all this does, it's not going to keep grades. It's not going to keep any kind of record other than what day they're on, what lesson they're on, and what courses they're taking. So this is Vanessa's day, and because it's still kind of summer, we jump back and we are reviewing kindergarten. So she's got kindergarten, math, learning to read. She's still struggling. She's got the phonics and everything, but getting it all together is an issue. So we're learning to read still. Language arts 1, Old Testament. I love that they have a Bible option. She's also taking the history, biology, music, and electives. And the electives, I'm not 100% in love with. I'm still debating if I'm going to keep those or not. But let's just jump in at the top up here. So for kindergarten, for getting ready, they'll prompt you for where your child will fit in and for which each lesson holds. But when you've got your child's lesson set up, when you've got the day set up like what I just showed you, then you click on that lesson and it'll bring you right here to day 1, lesson 1. So this is her getting ready kindergarten class, and we just clicked lesson number 1 and it opens a new window, and you just go through and read it.
So that would be something you would read to her?
This is something I would read to her. So even it tells you a parent or older sibling needs to read the new words in the box before your child begins reading the lesson. So it's really simple. It's so easy. I'm really appreciative because I have enough going on without having to spend planning time. So it's really straightforward. And then once you're in here, it says you've already done the sight reading. So Vanessa knows most of her sight words. So yes, we're in the right place. And then because it's lesson 1, they're going to have you click on that to open. And as you guys saw, it's all numbered. So you've got step 1, step 2, step 3, and that's all day 1. Then you move on to day 2 the next day, or whenever your child is ready. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's all super laid out, easy peasy. So that lesson 1 is here, and everything has a PDF connection. But you can also purchase a printout of everything that they have if you prefer a paper book. So I enjoyed that option, and I actually took advantage of that option this last year. So here's your first lesson, the words in the box, dog, the, ran, which is all the words because it's lesson 1. So we're looking at the dog ran, and you would just have your child read those lines. Okay, check mark. Step 2 is complete. And then we're going to go to 3. So then we're going to work on our handwriting. Same thing, you can have all these printed out and you can order them, or you can continuously go onto the computer. And because it's handwriting, I just give my daughter a spiral notebook and let her write the letters. So there's the handwriting. And then it's talking about day 1, that there isn't actually things to do on day 1, but that you can take the time and write a sentence from your lesson. Or you can take the time to draw a picture of yourself writing. So, there's always something they can do. And then day 2, just so you guys have an idea, the uppercase L. So she would write an L in each box to practice the writing. And again, we're reviewing for her kindergarten just because it's just summer. So I just like to keep something going. And then you can see it goes through each letter. Everybody's got a box. I was trying to jump to something a little more involved as it gets through the lessons. I will say that one of the things I feel like after using this program for a couple of years is that it's a little bit slow. So yes, it's kindergarten, but we read 6 words and we wrote 1 letter. So I'm a little, I usually do a couple of lessons a day for that. So that's the kindergarten getting ready. And each program or each subject is the same. So then you would go, okay, we're down to math. And I think I already okayed all of her stuff. But when you have a new day, it will have a yellow box. I think, let me switch to Jesse. I'm not sure if I did all his or not. You can come right down here and do switch student. It's super user-friendly. Jesse's right there, and then he's doing preschool because summertime review, math, the Bible. And what I really like about their Bible lesson is it's just a narrative. And so you're reading a little bit to them, and I get to do it to both of them at the same time. So that saves a lot of time. Go ahead.
I said that's great, so that you combine their Bible lesson, which also opens up for discussion between a family unit, between siblings and parent, or even, if dad wants to get involved too with that.
Absolutely.
That opens up a discussion for that. So I had a question I was going to ask, but now I don't remember. I should be writing my questions down as I'm going through this. Do you feel like the math is significant enough as far as their lessons go?
Honestly, this is our first time doing math. I just kind of added it in the summer. We have been making use of workbooks that you get at the dollar store, quite frankly. So this math, my daughter loved. Okay, so to start out, it was count to 20, and it's a fun little game, so you can get your child involved. My son has a hard time using the mouse on the laptop and the button, but it says, count 1 to 20. So if you try to click on 7 first, it won't work. But when you find the 1, it'll pop it, and then you count, going up to 20. So they really enjoyed that. And then my daughter and son are doing the same math level. So that was, it was fun for both of them. And she actually got to help him with the mouse and the clicking. And the other part of the math lesson 1 was to play snakes and ladders. So you can click the dice and you can move your person to spaces, and it's fun. It's entertaining for them. As far as how in depth it gets, I haven't made it that far yet to say. I'm so sorry.
Do you have the option to, let's say you have a 4th grader that maybe is really excelled in math and then struggles in maybe their language arts. Do you get to pick kind of what level they're at? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. So when you do your parent settings, and if I decide here that we're doing math and it's just not enough, I can go into my settings, parent settings, and here's math. And I can say, you know what, I want to up us to the next level. And it's that easy. And now he's ready to go. And I can even say, you know what, we know most of math 1. Let's start at lesson number 25 instead of lesson number 1.
Okay.
And so it is really easy to manipulate and create the particular level for your child.
All right. And this has to be used from like a PC or you can't do it on a tablet, right?
So if your tablet has access to the internet and you can look at Chrome or a browser, you can do it on a tablet.
Okay. You just have to have Chrome or something like that.
Kind of browser, right? You would have to go, like you were doing it on a computer, into that internet address. There's not an app.
Okay.
And so once you change everything, you can just save and go back to the student page.
Okay.
And there's lots of extras that I didn't add for Jesse. The computer, he really struggles with, like I said, the concept of the mouse and the button. So I didn't add computer for him, but had I chosen to, I could have just clicked on it and it would have added it to the program. And if I come and we start something and I say, oh, I don't really like computer, so I can just exit out and it's not going to change anything.
So the computer would maybe teach like typing skills and how to use a computer?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So we can actually add computer and click on it here and get kind of a preview to decide, oh, do I really want to add computer? So here's first level computer, basic computer usage, turn your computer on and off, your computer can go to sleep. What happens when your computer goes to sleep? So it's very, very beginner, easy setup. Click, double click, right click, and hopefully if they're using this program, they already know most of that stuff. But again, if I decide, oh, we don't need those, so let's start at lesson 8, internet security. Great. Let's jump around, and then I would just go to my settings and say, okay, we're going to start this one at lesson 8.
And this looks like it would be also a great filler for, if you just wanted to give your kids maybe some fun interactive, like with the math, where they could play games, even if you're choosing a different curriculum, or if you have different curriculum and you want to teach them typing skills or Spanish. My daughter wants to learn Spanish like there's no tomorrow. So
awesome.
And I'm just like, well, yeah, good luck with that one.
Oh, no. So there is actually a Spanish option in EBC.
I've seen that.
And for whatever reason, they decided that it starts in high school. So it really, middle school, it looks like. It starts at 6th grade. So they have an option to take live classes, and they do that once a week. Okay. So it seems to be a good option, but I haven't started it.
Okay.
Haven't done that yet.
You have time.
Yes, I think so. But yeah, like you were saying, the Bible and the math, you can open up a discussion, you can have a conversation with your kiddos, and teach them at the same time. And it's kind of the same thing for their history. Jesse, I'm on the computer, babe. So we did a big discussion for history. That was the first lesson here. And I don't know how many of you are looking for biblical-based curriculum, but this one talks about the history of the world, and the prehistory being, fact-based in Genesis. So it was interesting. And then you get the big concept at the end, what's the difference between history and prehistory, and how do we know? It asks you some questions to kind of involve your kids and make sure they were listening and make sure they get the highlights. And I really liked that in the Bible story. We read Matthew 1:18 through 24, and then they got to tell it back to me, so tell me the story in your words. So I thought that was an excellent tool to request of my children, or an excellent thing to request of my children. So anyway, that's pretty much it. I don't know, do you have any more questions or concerns?
Do you have you said everything is deleted, but do you get to keep a record of their grades or what they've completed, or?
So there's no grades here. As far as I know, there is, all it keeps track of. So you can see here that it turned yellow because I was adjusting and deleting and erasing stuff. Yeah. So after he does lesson number 1, he can come over here and click this. Of course, he's not doing that. He's 5, but hopefully in time. And I can go and review his work and then say, yes, it was good, or no, it still needs work.
Okay. So, I just didn't know. Maybe I'll take this off now.
Let's see. As far as the parent settings, all you really get from them is that, yes, they did the work. Okay. And you can go back and verify that, yes, they did the work. Okay. So if you want any kind of a record keeping system, that's on you.
Okay. I just didn't know because some schools, some states require you turn in grades. Some states require that that you turn in an attendance record or whatever. Different states have different laws. We're about as easy as you can get here in South Dakota.
Ditto for Texas.
I turn in a thing at the beginning of the school year that's been notarized saying I'm homeschooling my kids.
Wow. We don't even have to do that. So yeah.
But I see that changing because of the amount. I think we're going to see some pushback because there will be a lot of kids homeschooling, I do believe, this year. And I think we'll see some pushback. And we'll talk about that a little bit at the end. Okay. How do you think your kids respond to the activities and to the school? Do they seem to like it, or do you sometimes struggle? I mean, of course you're going to struggle. Every kid.
Can you guys turn it down? Sorry. I really think that doing it on the computer excites them. Okay. I was going to say one of the cons to this program, when we started, Vanessa, it was really fun and exciting. There's songs, there's games, there's, colorful icons, and it was really more like a game than a lesson. And then when it switches from pre-K to Let's Read, it jumps you straight from all the games and the fun stuff to here's your first list of sight words. We're going to say them out loud. You repeat them, come back a few times a day and verify that you get them and memorize them. And so after that, she was like, I don't want to do school.
Wait a minute. This isn't what I was doing.
Really against it. And then I kind of backed off away from the computer and I purchased, like I said, and I can show you the books. Okay. Sorry, I had to relocate to plug in my computer.
That's all right.
But then I decided to do the books instead, to do the actual page learning. So I'm not sure how clear that is, but
Yep,
you
I can see it.
can. You
And
can
this you can just order from the Easy Peasy website.
They've got a connection, and it actually comes from Amazon. So
Okay.
it's, I guess it's a deal they have worked out. But these are the things that are on their website that you can order printed
Okay.
already, pre-printed. So like they started at the beginning, the alphabet, and then there's some activities. So that she was color each shape a certain color, and then they started with like the sight words. So
Okay.
it's the same as what's on the computer, but because it was such a drastic change
Right.
online, we decided to try a book instead. And so that worked for a little bit, but now as the reading prompts are getting more involved, I thought, well, let's jump back on the computer and try and see. And then we've got all the different subjects. So she really liked the math. She was excited about that. It's been better. So it's nice that you can kind of do it online, or you can order, the books.
And that's a great option with, we tried a computer, like doing an online curriculum, and it just didn't work for us. And they sent us books, but for some reason, the books had nothing to do with it was just extra stuff. And I didn't quite understand why they sent it, but it's almost like that actual, paper and doing something on paper. To me, it's like a sense of accomplishment, I guess, or something.
Yeah.
There's a lot to be said from moving a hand onto the paper.
Yeah.
And so it's great that option is there to go back and forth. Mm-hmm. I have a kid crying. He's coming down.
Oh, no.
So let's see. I'm going to ask you what your best homeschool tip is. And then I'm going to mute myself.
Okay.
So you can go do your best homeschool tip and your best keeping it fun tip. And I'm going to mute myself and disappear for a minute.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So my best homeschool tip for everybody out there is don't feel like you're stuck. Don't feel like, okay, I'm doing this curriculum and now I have to follow it through. I have to finish it through. Like I said with Vanessa, the programming changed so drastically. The material changed so drastically that she really was out of it, and we took a break, and then I ordered those books and we kind of started up again, and it was more fun the second go round with the actual physical paper. So don't be afraid to change things, and don't feel like you're stuck because you've started a curriculum. I know when you make a big investment, and looking at some of these curriculums, you can make a really big investment. I know it's hard to say, no, we're going to stop this, even though we spent all this money, and we're going to switch gears, but it's okay to switch gears. But I would recommend that if you're going to change something, change little things, or have, kind of a group family meeting and let them know what you're going to change. So hopefully that all made sense. And Rachel is back, but I didn't do my keep it fun tip yet. So let me do that one too.
Nope, that's great. Just like take over.
If you guys are kind of in the mumps, or you need something to do, I love going to Pinterest. I love looking for different learning games. So like Vanessa was having trouble identifying D and B as lowercase letters because they're so similar. And so I just kind of dug around on Pinterest. How do we make this fun? And they came up with this really cool, beanbag matching game. So it was super fun, super easy, and it wasn't so stressful for her after that. So look on Pinterest. Pinterest is an amazing tool. And then also use rewards. I have no shame about bribing my children when school is not fun. I'm like, well, do you want dessert tonight? Because you have to do school to get dessert tonight. So that works for us. For some people, it might be, toys in the bathtub or extra time to play in the shower, whatever it is. It doesn't have
to be something that costs money, or
exactly.
It doesn't have to be necessarily. I'm pretty strict with my kids. Like, this is when we do school. As soon as you're done with school, you have your chores to do, because I'm trying to teach them, get your stuff done, then we can have fun. And we've been having a rough go of it, of one kid that just doesn't want to get stuff done. So she's missing out on a lot of things. So
yeah,
that's the way it's going to be.
that's okay. You know,
Yeah.
you behave poorly, then you don't get the reward.
Right.
So,
and hopefully we'll be right, by doing that, we raise kids that know their expectations and
yes.
things that happen before you get things that you want.
Yes.
And yes, giving rewards, that's great. I mean, we do it in public schools.
It helps. That's true. They do. A lot of teachers have a treasure box that you pick something out of, or you get a extra reading time or whatever it may be. So
I mean, we get rewards for working at a job. You get your paycheck. That's your reward, and you can go spend that all on your bills.
It's true.
What is your best organization tip? Do you have?
I know a lot of people hoard school supplies and books and, I got this, but I haven't had a chance to look at it. I am a super let it go kind of person. So every so often, probably 2 or 3 times a year, I will go through all of our books, and I've got some that are set aside, 2nd, 3rd grade, 4th grade. I think that'll be useful. We can hold on to that. But there's a lot of stuff that I'm like, nope, it's gone. So the less you have, the easier it is to organize is kind of my thing.
Right. What about because with being homeschooling and yes, if you take him with you. Yeah. Okay. Make sure he puts his life jacket on. That's okay. Can I go swimming? He said.
Good reason.
And he's supposed to be helping the 3-year-old stay
on
happy. Mm-hmm. Right. Not changing his clothes and coming down here naked like he did in the last one 30 times. So I had to edit that part out. But he asked if he go swimming. Your best household management tip, because there is a lot. I mean, when you're taking time to, whereas if you were a stay-at-home mom and your kids were gone at school, you have time to keep your house in order and to do that things. But when you're schooling, that becomes almost the main part of your day.
Yeah, it should be your priority.
And that's your priority. And so how do you keep your house flowing by keeping laundry done, or your cooking, or your best management tip for keeping the chaos at bay?
I try to do at least 1 load of laundry a day, and that has been really helpful. And then I have a specific day for towels that we always wash our towels on Friday. Sometimes I make it, sometimes I don't, but they always get done on Friday or Saturday. And in addition to that, I include my kids. You want to help me wash dishes? I'm not crazy about that. Something might get broken. It might get really messy, but come on, because you're going to learn that way, and you're going to be involved, and you're going to want to help mommy. And I love that. So more than anything, whatever you're doing, include your kids if they ask you to, and then thank them. Tell them, I really appreciate you coming over here and helping me with dishes. You made this go so much faster. And, you learned this, and look at how good you can do that now. And so really I don't know how big of a management tip that is, but it pays off in the long run. Right.
And then you teach them to be self-reliant and where they can almost, come to a point. Like my kids, we do chore charts. And they, like every Monday, we clean 2 rooms in the house, the same rooms. They know they all have the same job every Monday. And so they know, and it's, age appropriate. And, then we go through our week, and this has to be done at a certain time or a good time. And so they just know what needs to be done when it becomes a routine for them. And so
it helps.
Yes.
When you get involved.
Right. And then so like my son woke up this morning because we usually don't do any electronics in the summertime. None.
Oh, wow.
They can watch TV, but we don't do no Wii, or they can't play on the iPads or anything like that. And so he really, really wanted to play the Wii this morning. So he got up early. He came downstairs and cleaned up some of my husband's cave down here, and he got all of his chores done that was scheduled for today. Today is Wednesday, so they have to completely clean their bathrooms and their bedrooms, vacuum,
Awesome.
clean the toilets. And so he had that all done before anybody else was out of bed. So,
wow.
So yeah, I was like, okay, you can play that today. So yeah, I mean, but that was itself, he got up and was motivated to do it so that he could do that. So, and then my other question that I'm asking everybody is, what do you do to fill your cup when you get burned out?
I want to jump back to the organization because it just occurred to me what I do as well as I'm sorry to jump back, but
You're fine.
Scan your stuff. Like every time my kids draw something, I scan it and then I get rid of the drawing so that you don't have that clutter. And then you can print it in a book. You can, save it in a file. It just makes a big difference. Okay, sorry. Okay,
that's okay because I get that because you bless their little hearts. I have 5 kids, and sometimes they get in a kick, and I've gotten 10 papers a day from each kid, and you are like, throw it in the trash, and they like, oh,
it breaks their little heart,
and it breaks their heart, and you're just like, okay, sorry.
So then, scan your stuff for sure has been a huge help without having a big pile of paperwork, especially at 7 and 5. They're so excited to draw everything, and they're so excited to give me everything they draw. So that makes a huge difference. As far as taking time for me away from burning out, I really enjoy listening to audiobooks. I used to be a really big reader, and I do not find a lot of time to pick up a book anymore, unfortunately. That was really hard for me because I used to keep 5, 6, 7 books on my nightstand and work my way through them in a few weeks. So audiobooks have been huge. We're doing quiet time. You guys want to watch a movie? Okay, fine. I'm going to sit over here and listen to a book and kind of lose myself a little bit in that. And on top of that, I've also started walking in the evenings. So it's very hot. We're down here in East Texas. It's like 100 degrees, it's hot. And so I really, my husband's been super supportive, and I say, hey, I'm going to go take a walk. And right now I'm also doing a fitness program. So I'm trying to do like 50 minutes of whatever I do. So I take a 50-minute walk and I listen to my audiobook, and I might stop and pull some weeds on the way, just something to kind of get away from everything without spending money that we don't need to.
Right. That is good advice. Do you do any blogging, or is there a podcast that you listen to, or certain?
I don't. I am not that savvy.
Okay.
I sometimes follow the Happy Home Fairy. I'm not sure if anybody else has heard of that, but she's got a lot of really nice random acts of kindness and fun recipes. She just had a thing about a popcorn cake, which was kind of cool. So Happy Home Fairy, if anybody's interested. She's pretty cool.
Cool. Advice for parents starting this journey. They're going to start homeschooling.
Yes, I love what you are offering, Rachel. It is amazing. I wish this was available when I started. And there are so many resources that I didn't even know were there when I started. So when I started looking, I got scared off by prices. I'll be straightforward. I was not willing to drop a huge amount of money on something I wasn't sure was for me. So there is a lot of used curriculum offerings. There's a lot of consignment. There's a lot of, homeschool groups where you can kind of trade off and check it out. And those are amazing resources. So definitely before you jump in full checkbook, go take a look around, talk to some folks, see what anybody else is using, see if maybe you can purchase their last year curriculum if they're getting into the next year curriculum. Don't get shy by the prices. Don't get sticker shock.
Right. And I think sometimes too, a lot of the homeschool curriculums will give you a certain money day back guarantee.
Oh, great.
I know like on My Father's World that we use, it's like a 60-day money back guarantee.
Awesome. I did not know about anybody's guarantees. So
yeah, that's
I
something.
was scared. I was scared when I got started.
When we went into, we did do an online homeschooling, and we tried it for 3 months, and it wasn't a fit for us. And we've been using My Father's World since the beginning. And I was running out of my trial with my refund for the online one.
Okay.
And it extended it for me because it was a new program, and there was just a lot of things that, they were still trying to set up and things weren't working right. A lot of glitches in the system. And so she extended my trial, basically, period, or where I'd get my money back.
Okay.
And
that's nice.
I usually I usually already have my curriculum because I start planning it out way ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, I'd already had it. We were running out of days to send it back for my full refund. And I just looked at my kids and I said, do you want to start with My Father's World? And they're like, yes, please.
Oh, no.
So,
wow.
That was an easy decision. And Tegan, you can wait. I'm almost done. Okay. So that was an easy decision for us. But I think this year we are going to try the Gather Round homeschooling curriculum.
Okay.
So I'm just going to buy, because she has them in different units where you can either buy all the units for the whole year, or you can buy one at a time. And it's like $45 a unit. So
nice.
We will probably try that for 1 month and see if it will work for us. And if not, then we'll go back to My Father's World. But what about advice for parents that are not new to this journey? Do you have any?
I'm relatively new myself, I feel like, as far as actually looking at curriculum and using curriculum, but I feel like it would benefit everybody, new or old. I don't know how to say that, new or experienced.
Veterans.
That it's okay to reevaluate. I'm really big on the like you said, you tried the online program and decided, no, that didn't work. That's okay. It's okay to back up and say, I don't like this. Let's try something else. And it's okay if that takes some time. You tried it for 3 months. Don't feel like you lost 3 months of schooling, feel like you tried something and yes, they were still learning. And I mean, every day they're learning, you go in the kitchen and they're making recipes with you. So they learn what 1 cup is, and they, it just, right. I feel like it's a very free system, freeing system. Let me put it that way, that you can homeschool your children so that you don't have to be structured and scheduled, and it's okay to take time and not have a structure and a schedule.
Right. And I think it opens just the homeschooling. It is freedom to me.
Yes.
As far as, we try to be very structured with 5 kids. I try to be very structured on our days, this is the time we do school.
Mm-hmm.
And, this time of the day, at certain times of the day, Mom's done. You finish your other stuff. When Dad gets home, he can help you. Mom's had enough.
Yep.
Get out of school. She's off work now.
Mm-hmm.
But there's opportunities that come up all the time that, we might, something might come up and it's something that my kids would want to be doing. So we can do that.
Yeah.
Or when
freedom.
We went to my mom's for Thanksgiving. It was 2 years ago. And my stepbrother had passed away in that time. And so I was able to, and I had brought some of my curriculum with me anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to offer that opportunity to stay there and help.
Oh, wonderful.
To plan everything out. And I was able to do that. Same thing with when my grandpa was sick. We just have the opportunity to go. I don't have to be back, on Monday, so the kids can be at school at 8:00 in the morning, and I don't have to be somewhere to go pick them up at a certain time. And if we decide to do something different for the day, we can. We don't have a
set
right, and we can. Learning happens in so many places. you know, we're kind of in a ranching community here. And so if someone, you know, if someone's branding or something, we can go help brand
What a
or
great learning experience.
right. You know, or we can do whatever. You know, you just have that freedom to basically,
It's nice to take a break when you need one.
right. And you just have that freedom. And there's so much learning that happens outside of books and outside of,
Absolutely.
you know, there's just, you know, like I said before, my daughter likes to wait tables at our business that we own.
Oh,
And
cool.
so she's 10. She waits tables, and in the fall time when it's busy. So she works usually 2 days a week or 3 days a week.
That's so cool.
And she
What a
goes in
great
around
experience for her.
right, lunchtime. She had enough money saved up that she could open up her checking account. And,
Great.
you know, so I have a 10-year-old that writes checks. And he also has his checking account because he's a saver.
Way to go.
And unlike her, she's a spender. So the checking account was good because then
Financial Peace Kids version.
right. In which they do have that.
Yes, they do. Yes, they
Yeah.
do.
And so, but you know, then she just doesn't seem to spend as much when it's in a checking account. And
Yeah, it's much easier to save when it's not cash in your hand for sure.
right. And so, and then they learn how to balance a checkbook, and they learn to
So many.
evaluate, you know, do they really want to buy this? Is this worth the money that they've saved? So,
Right.
Tegan, well, she hasn't because it's summertime. Please go upstairs. Don't interrupt. Thank you. I know. So yeah, that's kind of all I have. I have been recommending on all the videos I'm doing that we become part of HSLDA, the Homeschool Defense Legal Act. It's
Yes,
$12
ma'am.
a month. I just feel that the way things are going right now, it's good to have that lawyer in your back pocket. And
Yes, ma'am.
I think they help with other things too. And I think they have good programs on there for if you need help with education, or I think they have some good programs as far as learning too on there. I don't know much, but I do recommend that. I am moving these all to YouTube.
Awesome.
A while to do it so they don't get lost in Facebook. And you can either, I guess they say subscribe, but I haven't quite figured that out. And if you just type in Rachel Anderberg, it takes you to my videos and you can subscribe to those. I'll probably be doing maybe some meal planning ones or some, you know I'll do one on how I get 4 kids at school ready for the year.
Yes, yes.
And so you can also, I think if you type in virtual homeschool convention, the videos will come up too.
Hashtag.
Yes. So just on Facebook, I think I tried it with just virtual homeschool convention and all my videos popped up. So that's what I've been calling them all. So there's that. And that's about all I have. I thank you so much for joining me today.
Absolutely. Thank you for doing this. What an awesome undertaking.
Yeah. We'll see how long we can do it for. I kind of have my...
Yeah, there's so many curriculums. Good luck.
Right. Yes, thank you. So I will go ahead and end this.
Bye.